All right, Rob, we're back. Episode 20 of the show. I cancelled the last 2 minutes because I had to explain what Reddit is to Rob. Here we go. Well, there'll be more Bond. I thought, rather than just run down our list of top 10 films, which we're doing currently, we need to include something Bondian in there. And Rob, we're going to pick a Bondian subject off Reddit this week. The subject and question is, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Do you think the next Bond will return to a classic, gritty, cold and calculated 007, rather than the Bond who's tired of his life? Over to you, Rob.
Well, I would hope that it does. It did get a bit much at the end of the last few Craig films. Would you agree?
So, I'm just going to elucidate on what the guy said when he asked the question, because I think it will add some context. He says, my top Bond films are Casino Royale, GoldenEye, License to Kill, and The Living Daylights. I might be in the minority, but I never really liked the whole Bond deconstruction phase that started with Skyfall. It stripped away many of the elements I love about Bond movies, his cold, calculated nature, the espionage-driven plots, etc. So I think he's got a good point here. When it gets to Skyfall, they're already starting with, I'm too old for this shit. Now, when you do that, the too old for this shit spiel, and it's 2012, by the time you're rolling out No Time to Die 2021, then it's really old. Yeah. I mean, and the playbook's really fucked up.
He was retired.
Yeah, but he's already spoken about it 9 years ago, so it feels like it's just dragging its feet. One of the things I liked about the Moore's Bonds was, I can't think of a single time when Moore said that I'm too old for this shit.
No, and he should have.
And Connery, yeah, but let's have it as a bit of movie magic. All right, he didn't shag BB doll, right? That would have been weird.
BB doll,
good, but weird. Timmy didn't do it. Pierce was 49 and Rosamund Pike was like 23 or something. There's like a 27-year age gap in Die Another Day. Yeah. That was never brought up. I like to have I'm Bond, it's okay, you're a young hot blonde, let's deal with this. Yeah. So in answer to that, I think it also depends on whether Bond is scarred. Like if from Casino Royale onwards, he was scarred, so it does get depressing.
This is it, and I think they decided to have that whole story arc, didn't they, with the Daniel Craig films? And so it starts with Vesper, and all the baggage that goes with that, which did go into Quantum a bit,
a lot.
It didn't take over the film, thank God.
Congratulations, you were right.
About what?
About Vesper.
But it was still there, and it needed closure. And then they fucking revisit it in the last one, in No Time to Die.
Well, Spectre, they bring it back.
He visits her grave. They started dragging all that up again.
Well, they're trying to bring closure to the character.
God.
But if you want a gritty Bond, then that's the way to do it. You kill off the love of your life in the very first.
It has its place, but you don't want it to go too far, But what worries me, though, is with Denis Villeneuve at the helm, I worry that they're going to go down that route again, because those are the sort of films he makes.
So there was also a half-decent reply that I think is worth bringing up on this thread, that Skyfall was the first Bond film to cross the $1 billion mark, and No Time to Die managed to make 3/4 of that, despite being delayed significantly because of COVID and blah, blah, blah. So
yes,
if they're going to take the money-making model...
which they will.
Right, because they don't want to gamble on this.
Amazon want their money back.
Yeah, they want to hedge their bets.
They're going to go down that bloody
route. So you might just stick, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
They're going to go down that route, and we're going to get more of the same. And that does concern me, because I think we've had enough of that now.
You've been depressed enough.
Yeah, and it concerns a lot of Bond fans, A lot of Bond fans just think, we want to go back and have some fun, But I think with Spectre, it was more along those lines. That was more of a sort of classic Bond film. Would you not agree?
Well, I think Skyfall and Spectre are an odd matinee, because Skyfall
they're very different.
Is like the Goldfinger bubblegum Bond you can put on in isolation. In fact, if I introduce anyone to a Bond film, I would stick on Skyfall.
Would you really?
Yeah.
See, I'd put on Goldfinger.
Well, why not? Yeah, and either works. But you don't need all of that baggage to go into it, is what I think.
I mean,
So you have that.
Skyfall's an outstanding film, but I wouldn't say it's very representative of all the films, though. Whereas I'd say Goldfinger is. And I would say Spectre is too, because Spectre was very formulaic.
But with Spectre, you kind of need to know what's going on with Vesper, and you need to know what's going on with Bond by that point, and blah, blah, blah. But it's in isolation.
I see what you mean, yeah. Skyfall is standalone.
Yeah, and at the end of Spectre, you have him hunting down Blofeld, etc., and you don't know who this Blofeld guy is unless you watch the whole canon of Bond.
This is true.
So,
and Skyfall is standalone, which is good. It works well for that reason.
Yeah, and it's direct as
And
well.
they try to
It's
make
very
out-
direct. It's not a complicated film.
And then the next film, they tried to make out it was connected. And
Sure.
it was, which I thought was a
That's
mistake.
the trouble when you retrospectively add
And it's like,
all the
no,
narrative in.
Silver had nothing going on. He wasn't part of that whole Spectre quantum thing. He was out on his own after M. Absolute load of bollocks that was.
Load of bollocks.
It
Load of
was.
bollocks. All right, Rob. Well, so that, I think, has been sufficiently answered.
We could go on for ages talking about that.
Yeah, but we need to crack on because, Rob, we've got your top 10 and my top 10 list to
Yes.
get on with.
I beg your pardon.
PropStore.com, one of the world's leading auction houses for entertainment memorabilia. They consign and sell props, costumes, posters, music memorabilia, comic art, toys and other collectibles through both live and online auctions, as well as items available for immediate purchase on Buy Now. Check these guys out at PropStore.com.